So a scary thought I've been having recently, and this ties into concepts like death and change, and it's actually a chapter in the book I'm writing soon, which I'll publish by the end of this year. But the idea is that we change, like death is very similar to drastic change. Like so, dying is similar to when you become such a different person, right? And as people, we change very gradually. It's very slow, but it is there. It's very consistent as well. So let me give you an example. Like I'm 24 right now. The me who I am right now versus who I am at age 14 is such a different person. It's not even, you couldn't even compare, right? I look different, I act different, I speak different, right? And who I am at 34 is probably going to be a completely different person, let alone who I will be at 44, right? So these are like kind of like death-like states, right? Because um, it's it's kind of like one thought I've been having that's kind of, kind of a tangent, but kind of ties into all of this is if you're like religious and you go to like heaven, right? Like which version of you is most true? Like, so do you live in heaven as a 70-year-old version of you or a 30-year-old version of you? And maybe someone who's older can relate and let me know like which version of you do they think is the most true version of them. Um, so it's kind of like, are you in heaven as a 20-year-old or a 40-year-old, right? Because we have such different interests throughout the course of our lives. As a 10-year-old, you care about action figures. A 20-year-old may care about partying and girls, and a 30-year-old may want like a family and settling down and whatnot. And another thought I have that ties into this, which makes it so scary to me, is will the future me appreciate any of this hard work, right? I think we experience some level of regret no matter what decisions we make in life. If you pick a different major, you start thinking, what if, it's very easy to regret things. So it's easy to blame the past versions of you because there's no perfect, there's no way you can have everything, right? So if you by having a decision, you basically forfeit every other option. That's what it means to have a decision. So, but it does tie me in because there's a lot of life changing decisions I'm making right now. Right, I'm making a lot of life changing decisions this year. Last year is probably going to be the most biggest impact years of my 20s and maybe even 30s. Right, and I wonder if when I'm 34, would I appreciate anything that I'm doing right now? Like, would he rather have me do something different? And that's such a haunting feeling because you just don't know. You just don't know until you get there, And it's you. It's weird to say it's you, but I don't know. Which is why another reason why death is like kind of like so abstract to me now. Like it's like we change so drastically. Like who I'm speaking right now in this camera, I may in like a year I may think this video is ridiculous. I may think like I may have strong opinions, maybe even negative ones about who I am right now in the future. Right? It's kind of I don't want to say it's kind of disheartening because it's still you, but it is kind of disheartening to think. It makes me think a little bit deeper. Like I mean, I don't know. Like I had thoughts like just a weird thought I just had in the spurt right now. Like, what if you treat your past self better because it's kind of like in a loop? But that's just like a weird thought I had. I thought it was funny, but it, this idea that death and change is very similar. I mean, it's been haunting me a lot recently. Like, if you go to heaven, which version of you is most true? Um, and actually, the book I'm writing, it may sound very grim, but I don't think it's grim things. I think once you fully ask these good questions, like what is really the difference between death and change? I mean, when we change so drastically, we essentially die. Um, yeah, it's very hard to just really put into exact words because I mean, obviously there are two different things. If you're physically dying, it's one thing, but changing is also very similar, and it's so similar that in my mind it's very haunting. It's very like horrifying. But let me know, guys, if you guys have something to add to this. This is just a spooky thought I've had. Maybe you don't get too freaked out by these kind of thoughts, but I do.